Hi, you're welcome to Brotherscode, and my name is Shay Daniels. It's such a joy to have you here. Brotherscode is an initiative that God has laid in my heart to help raise the bar for men by speaking about things that have to do with men, having conversations about things that we don't talk about. And you're welcome to Brotherscode. You're welcome to Unscripted with Brotherscode. Today, I've got with me
Enoch says Edwards. So now the sky is healed, but there's there's a greater scar, there's a greater damage. So now this lady is gone. And you remember this young boy was now chasing for sex because I've been introduced to it. Introduced to something that should have happened later on in life. So obviously I know well that you can't go sleeping with every woman as young as I was. I can't go chasing my cousins. So what do I resort to? And how I transitioned into masturbation is still a mystery till today. How did I know that now I can I can play with myself and get myself satisfied as a young teenager? And I kept on.
So can I just stop you there? And I'm just going to ask you a question on a lot of people's mind, especially young people that are married. So are you saying that you think that masturbation is not good?
It's not good. It's definitely not good. Masturbation is never God's will for us. Masturbation is not good. I mean, I don't know how best to describe it because masturbation masturbation I mean, listen, I got really messed up. All right, because if you want to masturbate, you need to get yourself in a certain mood. And so you end up thinking about something that will get you hard on, thinking about something that will excite your emotions and get you to that point. And of course, you'd have to play with yourself to sort of create that condition that will get you to that level of arousal to even ejaculate in the first place. And so you can't even have pure thoughts if you are doing that. And the moment you discover that act, the slightest of pressure or the slightest of exposure to anything sexual, you look for the easiest, most coward way to satisfy yourself, masturbation.
Wow. I don't think I could have said it any better. The only thing I would add is one of the issues with masturbation. Yes, you are not having sexual intercourse with another person, but you must always remember your mind
Yeah.
is your first sexual organ and is the most important sexual organ. And that is what pornography and masturbation
Yeah.
deals with, such that you get to a point where you are damaged. And I keep using the word damaged because a lot of people are damaged by the content you are consuming. You
Yeah.
are damaged.
Yeah.
And this is not a condemnation. This is to let you know that you need to seek for help.
Yeah. And maybe this will even surprise you. So, in my uncle's house, oh dear Lord, I lived in a room alone. I slept in a room alone, and my other cousins slept in another room with their mom and their dad, and I slept alone. I wasn't added into that room. I slept alone. So when this help was in the house, and the days she had to sleep, she would sleep in my room, two of us. Obviously, the door is locked. It's night. It's covered. So, um, and that's very conducive, really. That's very conducive, and it will surprise you that in my room, in there's a walk-in wardrobe. Not many people had walk-in wardrobes in those days. My uncle was a big boy of his days, and if I mention his name, old, there's new money and there's old money. Those of the old money generation, they will know him. Yeah. In that walking cupboard was a pile of boxes that had books, that had um, CDs, DVDs, tapes, magazines. There was a Playboy magazine, a couple of Playboy magazines in there, And if you know Playboy, you know Playboy. And that's my first exposure to Playboy magazine. I got introduced to Playboy in my early teens. The magazine is there. Now I'm a very avid, curious reader. I mean, that's my room for all intents and purposes. And obviously, you go searching through what's going on in there because there were a couple of stuff. I'm not going to say who those boxes belong to, but maybe one of these days I'll tell that person who those boxes belong to. Again, I want to, as much as possible, keep out names as much as possible. But in that magazine were explicit content that I wouldn't see on TV, but it was there. So I had a reference. I read it, a couple of issues, a couple of episodes, issues in there. I read it. I saw the images. I mean, that's how I knew who the owner of Playboy was. And the lifestyle and all the pictures and different. So everything was just glaring. So at a point when I don't want to masturbate, I'll go for one of those magazines, just flip through, get aroused, get excited in a very split second, and do my business. So it went on for years. Now I'm done with basic education. I'm out of my uncle's house. So we spend a lot of time in the bathroom, but you probably don't understand. You think we're probably having a very good shower or scrubbing every part of our body very well, but actually there's so much going in there. Now, the thing about masturbation is you are never the same. Number one, your thoughts are just jammed. Biologically, you are training your body, your mind to respond to that stimuli, So when people were struggling, to find girlfriends and stuff like that, I wasn't really bothered. I remember one time in one of they were a bit elderly, but young guys in my area asked me, say, you don't have a girlfriend. You don't, when we are talking about girlfriends and, this one got laid, this one added to his body count, that kind of thing. You don't seem to say any of this thing. I'm like, I'm not really interested in all that. You know why I was interested? Because I knew how to sort myself out. And most of these guys will not know how to sort themselves out because they've not discovered that aspect of themselves. So they'll know that they needed a body count to get satisfied. And would chase that game. I wasn't really interested in that. I'll go to my books, I'll read, I'll study, I'll do everything. But when I got frustrated and tired and I felt like, I just go straight in the bathroom and then do my business. And this went on all through my secondary school days. Was I going to church? Yes. Was I following parents to church? Yes. Now, bear in mind, I've left my uncle's house now. I've come to my parents' house and I'm still in it, still in the act. Then, obviously, with their friends in the area, when they started talking about, body counts and stuff like that, I'm like, you know what? I might as well start looking for the real deal. And that's when I got into the real deal and a couple of victims here and there.
One thing that we have decided on
I can't count. I know where
on
I'm
this podcast series on Brotherscode is that we no longer glorify things that are wrong with hip hop names. Mm-hmm. So we've changed the body count to sexual sin number.
My sins were many. My sins were many. I mean, for every act of masturbation count, listen, I'm talking about from 14, 15 to past my early 20s.
Wow.
And, every now and again, even when I had girlfriends, every now and again when I felt like, so you will never be sexually pure again until you come on your knees to God, until you discover Jesus. Now, have I given my life to Christ? Then yes, I have. Did I love God? Yes, I did. Did I love the word? Yes, I did. Do I love to go to the house of God? Of course, obviously. Could I speak about Christ to anyone? I could if I wanted to. So, but when all is said and done, and I go where no one is watching, and I feel that pressure, I know to ease off that pressure. So I went on for a long time. But then again, and I always say, thank God for good company and people that actually went on their all out to help. And one of them that I encountered was one of my mentors. Again, I'll withhold names because I haven't got permission to share names. Maybe next time I'll come sharing those names in detail. But he was with the Navigators group. Man, I love this man. And the beginning of shaping me in integrity, in my thoughts, because a lot of things, that was where the battle was, my thoughts. You know, maybe it was just for me, but I struggled to be in to be confident. I felt like there was always someone watching me. I felt like someone would discover what I was doing. I needed to keep up a certain appearance, keep up a certain lingua, just so that everybody would know that I'm in check. So that's why I said the hypocritical seed was sown. So although I'm doing this in my closet, when I come out, you see me, you feel like, oh, this Enoch is sorted. Enoch is all right.
This Navigators group, what is the group? What kind of group is it?
Navigators group, the best word I can use to describe Navigators is discipleship. And so this is a man that actually, and bear in mind that I was in church. I was very close to him. At the time, I got in touch with him. So when I was leaving university, that sin of masturbation, that thing, it had capsided. And sometimes I would go for like a whole year, except when I got exposed to instances that would bring that again. But it got, at a point, I thought I'd actually just, come out of it, which I was very, very grateful to God for. But I realized that just like God spoke to Cain, he said, sin is at your doorstep. So once you've encountered certain things, and from experience, I realized anytime you move into close proximity to the triggers of such, there is always that propensity to get back into your old ways. And so it's a lot of hard work. Has God's grace appeared to me? Yes. Do I know better? Yes. But I need to work extra harder, to prevent such. And I thank God for the power of the Holy Spirit. If not about talking about this today, sharing my story, triggering memories, I need to tell somebody about this so you can, that it's possible for you to come out of it, so that you don't think that you can never come out of it. Okay. This is funny thing. In university, when we got born again, and guess what? So when I was getting to the university, I had a friend, very close friend, bad boys, but look very good on the outside. I was a bad boy inside, but very good on the outside. You will not think. Look at me, very innocent. Don't I look? But naughty inside out, spoiled inside out. I started being spoiled from a teenager. What do you expect? And I had not really taken salvation that seriously. But me and my friend were like, look, when we go to the universities, we know there is no more, what do you call lights out. We need to sleep at the same time in a boarding house. There is nothing. Nobody can tell you what to do. We are adults. So we're going to increase our sexual sin count. So I'm like, hey, when we get into we'll get to the university, and at the time we're going to go to one of the public universities in Ghana. We're going to spoil there. We'll just spoil there. Hey, left, right, center. We just on a spree. Then we applied to the same universities, two of them. He got the University of Ghana. I didn't get the University of Ghana. I got the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. So that means I was going to travel from Accra to the other region in Kumasi. It's the top Technology University in Ghana. So that was how two bad boys got split. And this is where I think that, and I believe that that was the grand scheme. Because when me and this my friend are together, it's like petrol and another, not even fire. Fire is even small. The compassion level, two of us can bring down a whole system. I mean, not even good.
Talk about dangerous relationships.
Look, two of us. And I mean, when I tell people I tried weed, they may not understand, but these my guys were doing weed. I tried it with them. We went into the ghettos, and there's a lot of love and acceptance in the ghettos. So one roll that someone will buy will go around and sort everybody out, you know. But I'm now even thinking, what was even going through my head? But hey, I've seen Kapozi Lenge Judas getting so high. So maybe that seed was sown. I don't know.
And just to sort of cut you the sorry to do
No
that.
worries, no worries.
You said in the jungle, or in the streets, there is love and acceptance.
Yeah.
And I believe that why people run to the street is because they feel like the street will not judge them. They feel like the street would accept them.
Nobody asked me who my father was.
And the truth is, as men, so just bringing it back to men, if only we could love and accept our children,
Yeah.
if only we could love and accept younger men around us,
Yep.
probably they wouldn't be pushed to the street.
No way. No way. No way. I mean, and listen, my parents are very accessible. Very accessible. I mean, my mom, my dad, they'll go all out to I remember one time my mom sells stuff in one of the major markets in Ghana, and fire broke out in the warehouse, lost all her things. At the time I was in the university. Do you know that they didn't even tell me that that was the issue they had experienced? What happened was that my mom, in that particular semester, that was like one of my best semesters ever, because she actually made sure that nobody told me, and if my dad won't tell me nothing. And that was the semester they actually made sure I lacked nothing. And this was a period in their life where things were most difficult. They had lost everything. But somehow I didn't know. So anytime I asked for, oh, I needed this, they brought it. Anytime I said I needed this, they brought it. The provisions, the pocket money. I mean, I was like, hey, this semester there, another level. Oh. But I appreciated the sacrifice, and it tells you the kind of love they had for me. But because of the disconnect, not growing up in home, away from them, and all my experiences, I have never been able to open up to my parents about my struggles and what I experienced. And I tell you, one time I was coming from my uncle's house, because before I moved to join them, every now and again, I'll be allowed to go visit them. So I bought a piece of cake from a shop. And the day my mom will watch this video, she'll probably be so surprised. And maybe I'll tell her after this recording what happened. I bought a piece of cake I was going to give to my mom. It was Mother's Day. Oh dear. But my struggle to relate and to express myself the way I felt it, because I wanted to give her a Mother's Day gift. So I bought cake with her with my money. Well, money given to me to express and say Happy Mother's Day. But when I got to my mom's place, to my mom, I couldn't say, here's your Mother's Day gift. She's like, oh, Kwabna, how are you? I'm like, oh, Mom, I'm fine. I sat down. I took the cake. I broke it and I started eating the cake. Did I feel bad? Terribly. But I just couldn't say to my mom, Happy Mother's Day. This is your gift. But I actually bought it for her. But I couldn't give it to her. And this is how messed up I was. I couldn't even tell my own mom that I loved her. I didn't even know how to say. I didn't know how to express it. So, and every now and again, my wife would tell me, I mean, I don't know how to show love. I love her, but it takes a lot of work to express my love, to actually show how I'm feeling. But these days, by the grace of God, And with a lot of counseling and mentorship over the years, I'm very, very able to, and I'm working on myself daily. But I mean, speak of that scar, you know, and I couldn't tell my mom I loved her. I don't even think I've been able to tell my mom maybe before recently that I even loved her. I can't even express it, show it. My wife, I tell her all the time that I love her. Yeah, I do. I tell her, you know. But that was what was going on. So with this, my friend, in the ghettos, there's a lot of acceptance. Nobody's asking me about my journey. Nobody's asking me why are you here. There's no accountability. All we know is that listen, we came to get high. So we agreed on one common purpose. We are getting high, and we shared it. Everybody, I went home. I'm done. Did they know I went to smoke weed? No. Until one day, I'll tell you this. Maybe I'll wrap up with this and come for part two. In this bad company, I found myself. And at the time, I didn't know it was a bad company. That's all we know. We're hanging out together. We're living, doing life together, but with wrong perspectives. Me and this my friend, man, we still friends till today. Anyway, we all new guys now. And we went for a drinking spree. And it wasn't, I mean, if it was the martinis, Remy Martins, what do you call the other one? Jack Daniels and stuff like that. Perhaps it's cultured in a very good way. This is locally manufactured drinks with all sorts of concoctions that can kill a man. All right. And we went on a drinking spree and it became like a challenge, drinking competition. So, and there were younger adults with us who would not tell us any better, who were spurring us on. They were like, oh, show him you are tough, show him you are good. So my friend would drink, gulp it down. And then it's my turn, I pick, gulp it down. So then it's 1-1. Then he'll drink 2-2, 3-3, 4-4, going glass upon glass. To a point that I literally walked home with my head hanging low. And I mean, I was one of them. I'm quite a jovial person at home. I'll be laughing and playing, messing up, that kind of thing. So that day when I got home and my head was sinking, they felt like, oh, Kwamna has come back again with all his silly ways. And apparently I just walked down, so they thought I was joking. And I went into my room and I have a routine when I go out, and even till today, when my wife is cooking and I come home and she's in the kitchen, I don't even take off my clothes. I go straight to the kitchen and just pick something. And when she's cooking, I've always been like that. When my mom is cooking, I'll go and pick something and eat. Like, hey, this meat you have taken is your meat I was going to give you, so you don't expect a second meat. Oh, I think I married my mom again. Because my wife is one of the things she says is like, what my mom used to tell me when I was younger. But that's it. So I went into the kitchen, I took my food, and I went to my room, drunk, heavily intoxicated. And that's it. And that's it. I don't even remember that I did all these things. The last thing I remember, and it's still in my memory so fresh, was the last glass of alcohol I drank. And it's quite about 300 ml of, maybe 250 ml per glass. And I think it was a ninth glass. And these guys, and they said it was a draw, but I think I won. Because my situation was very bad. So that fateful day, there's a lot of traffic in Accra from Adabraka to Mile 7 area. And that day, my dad said, and my dad is very prayerful. My parents are Christians, very lovely Christians in church. Lovely, lovely people. Lovely. And I'm sure when they chance on this video, they'll go like, hey, so you went through all these things and didn't know. But you see, this will be a word of advice to parents. Look, your children should be your best friends. Create that atmosphere where we can even tell you that somebody tried this on us without us feeling judged, without us feeling like, you'll be ostracized and stuff like that. So that day my dad said, for some reason, he just had the urgency to close work on time. He called my mom and said, oh, where's Kwamna? That's my local name, Tuesday born, generic name for Tuesday. Where's Kwamna? So, oh, Kwamna is home. But my dad wasn't satisfied with the answer, as far as my memory serves me. He said he just closed shop, and that day he decided to come home earlier than before. And there's a lot of traffic from Adabraka through Circle, through, Abeka Junction, Tessano, that area. But that day, that fateful day, there was no single traffic. He said the Like as if everybody was home. The way was so cleared, no cars. He just drove speedily, went home. He parked the car. The first room he entered was not his own room. He didn't even sit anywhere. The moment he parked the car, it was like he said something was just telling him, go to Kwabne's room. And this is how God saved my life. He came home, I hadn't eaten. I don't know if I ate that day or not. Of course, maybe I did, but that I don't know. But my food was untouched. Lying on my bed, my head hanging, like a pendulum on the bed, unconscious. I had been sick all over, vomit, everything, smelly, messy. Then he shouted, Jesus, what happened now? Then he shouted and called my mom. And at the time, my mom was pregnant with my little sister, my only sister. And when my mom heard that cry, in desperation and in shock, she got up, even hit her big tummy to the door. God saved my little sister because she could have miscarried or probably that would have happened to the baby. Only to come and see their boy in that state. My dad said that. And at the time, our house wasn't walled. So the neighbors came on in. And this is the good boy they've been seeing. My cup was full then, I guess. This is the boy they've been seeing that was lovely. I mean, look at me, man. Do I look like a bad boy? No. But this is what was going on. This is what I was going through. Was this the first time I had drank and come home? No. I downed one box of Dongasi, I remember. And it didn't get that bad. You see, that's why I said, if it was one of these well-produced drinks, maybe I would have been fine. But the peer pressure and the bad company and all those things that was going on got me to take this locally produced alcohol. What's the name given to those things? In our local dialect, akpetishi. Yeah. Let me be very plain and frank, akpetishi. I don't know what it's called in other languages anyway, but in Ghana, in Akami, or whatever, call it akpetishi. So my dad took me to the hospital, Achimota Hospital. And that was where, I don't know, I'm told they pulled the alcohol from me through whatever means, I don't know. But I woke up conscious. And apparently I was just speaking, and the doctors were quite impressed that this boy was very articulate. If you asked me what I wanted to do, I was telling them, but I don't even remember what I said. When I woke up and they told me, I was like, did I say all these things? They said yes. Then my dad grounded me, said, listen, you're not going out of home again, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, he meant well. But the damage had been done. Would that be the last time I drank alcohol? No. But then the most important thing for me is that statement in that verse, that day that said, Kwabna, your spiritual power comes from being one with the Heavenly Father. I've seen God deliver me from case after case, episode after episode. I remember one time had something to do with one girl, and she, told me the story of her life and the kind of, and I said to her, listen, mention all the people you've actually, because I think girls who should be counting their sexual sin. There should be a sexual sin meter for girls as well.
Absolutely.
And men are all shocked. So I called one of my friends. I'm like, bro, where you are? He was a lab technician. I said, I need you to do an HIV test for me because I think I might have been compromised. And we went in there, did the test. I said, no, even don't only do HIV, do all sexually transmitted diseases test. I need to make sure that this vessel of mine is in good order. And he did. I smile and say these things because looking back, I think God has been good to me. And he did all that test and it was all negative. And I'm like, amen. Did that stop me from not doing that again? No, because right after I got the test, I went back again. And after a period, I called him again. I said, listen, I want you to do, they say there's HIV 1, HIV 2. I want you to do like the most, as for that test, if you fail there, then you are dying the next day. I was like, do it for me, please. I've gone back again. And he did. And again, God delivered me. It was clean, But I sit here today and I'm able to share some of these things to you that's watching. I don't know how your life may you have probably have gone through worse, or maybe nowhere near my story. Not to glorify the things we've been through, but to let you know that, look at me. By the grace of God, I'm where I am just by His grace. An ordained reverend minister, touching lives. God is using me to minister to people, testimonies, people are healed. I got good mentorship to bring me out of some of the mess that I was in. And to the extent that today I can laugh about some of these things, but it was never a laughing matter when I was going through. So I want you to know that there is hope for you. And there's only one person that can help you. His name is Jesus. If you accept Him as your Lord and personal Savior, you cast it all onto Him, He will. But after that, find a good company.
Thank you so much, Kwabena.
You tried. You tried.
And I'm really grateful to you for the courage and the vulnerability that you have displayed here, because this is good content. It is also to help people.
Yeah.
And you spoke of so many things you did as a young person, as a teenager, as an adolescent. And unfortunately, your parents weren't privy to most of these things.
Mm-mm.
And they were Christians, they were believers, they were, people that knew God.
They are.
And they had till now. And it just begs, the thought that how many people really know their children?
Yeah. There are so many people bleeding. I mean, I'm sitting here sharing a story because I've learned to be vulnerable. I've learned that somebody will be blessed by this. I know that Brotherscode is a platform that is reaching a lot of young men who will be. Sorry, let's get rid of this tear that wants to. I'm trying to be very composed in this seat. So
It's okay to
yeah,
to let them.
I know, but today I'm not going to. I think the Holy Spirit has helped me. Thank you, because I said I don't want to shed a tear in this couch. There's a need out there, and you that's watching, get in touch with the producers of this content, of this video. Get in touch. There's help. Listen, I'm available. Our brother Shay is available. The Brotherscode team are available. There are counselors. We really want to be of help. If I knew that you were not going to be helped by this, I would not be seated here to tell you. But I know you'll be helped, and that's why we are here. And there's a need for parents and Brotherscode. I may be a passionate cry. We should begin to address parenthood as well, so that the young men coming today will be able to bridge that gap, and save the church, because the church is made up of that micro unit of the family, headed by that brother.